The sky above the planet Varian was always calm. Its clouds moved slow like floating blankets, and the wind whispered through tall trees. The mountains were high and covered in white snow. Far from cities and spaceports, the land was quiet and forgotten. No one came there anymore, but on one strange morning, something broke the silent sea. A bright fire crossed the sky. It wasn't a shooting star. It was a ship, burning and falling fast. The ship crashed into the forest near the mountains. Trees broke. Smoke rose high into the sky. Birds flew away. The forest became silent again in a small cabin made of stone and wood. A Zyrene researcher named Luna looked up. Her skin was light green. Her eyes were deep silver. She lived alone in this place, far from others, studying nature and writing in her data logs. She had no visitors, no noise, and no danger, until Nosh picked up her scanner and followed the signal. It took her half a day to reach the crash. The ship was broken in pieces. Fire still burned in some parts. The ground was black. Inside the largest piece, she found a human was badly hurt. His face was bloody. His arm looked broken. But he was breathing. Luna stepped back. Her heart beat fast. She had read about humans in old reports. They were strong, fast, clever, and unpredictable. Some said they were kind. Others said they were monsters. The warnings were clear: stay away if possible. Humans were dangerous. She looked at the man again. He opened his eyes slowly. His lips moved. Help, he whispered. Luna stood still. Her hand touched the small stun tool at her side, but she didn't use it. Something in his voice didn't sound dangerous. He sounded tired, weak. Alan, after a long pause, she bent down and checked his wounds. Then she lifted him onto a hover sled and started pulling it back toward her cabin. She told herself she was only helping because she had medical training. She would heal him and send him away. That was all, but she already knew things wouldn't be that simple. The cabin was warm inside. A small fire burned in the center. Soft lights hung from the ceiling. Luna placed the human on the bed. She cleaned his cuts and gave him medicine. It took him 2 days to fully wake up. When he opened his eyes, he saw her sitting across the room, reading a digital pad. He tried to sit up. She raised a hand. Don't move. You're still hurt, she said calmly. I looked at her for a moment. Where am I? My home. I found your ship. You were lucky to survive. He nodded slowly. Thank you. I'm Ravi. She didn't answer right away. Then she said, Luna. He smiled faintly. Nice to meet you, Luna. She didn't smile back. You should know one thing. Humans are dangerous. That's what we were told. That's what I still believe. Ravi blinked. Then why did you save me? Luna looked into his eyes for a long second. I don't know yet. Days passed. Ravi's strength slowly returned. He had broken ribs, a bruised leg, and deep cuts. Luna gave him food, clean clothes, and silence. She didn't ask many questions, but she watched him carefully. Ravi stayed quiet most of the time. He didn't touch anything unless she said it was okay. He followed her rules. He didn't try to leave. One morning, while she was cleaning the data screens, he said, I used to fly supply ships. Not a soldier, not a spy, just a flyer. She didn't turn around. Still human. He nodded. That's true. That night, she sat closer to the fire than before. He noticed but didn't say anything. In evening, as cold rain fell outside, Luna brought a warm bowl of food to him. Ravi took it with a soft thanks and sat near the fire. Luna joined him. The silence between them was not cold now. It was quiet, but not empty. Why are you here alone? Ravi asked after a long pause. I study forest life. I like quiet places. She said. No one else around. She shook her head. No need. I send reports through signal waves every month. No visitors. Until Ravi chuckled lightly. Lucky me. Luna raised an eyebrow. You call this lucky? I'm alive. That's something. Luna stared at the fire. Her voice dropped. Do you know what your kind has done? Some of your ships destroyed old worlds, broke peace talks, started fights for resources. I've read some of that, Ravi said. I don't support it, but I can't erase it either. She looked at him. So why are you really here? My ship was delivering parts to a research station on the edge of the zone. Then something hit the engines. I lost control, Luna studied his face. You could be lying, I could, Ravi said. But I'm not. She didn't speak again that night. But when it was time to sleep, she didn't go to her private room. She made a bed near the fire, just a few steps away from him. Ravi didn't say anything. He just smiled and looked up at the ceiling. The wind outside howled. Inside, the fire burned low. Two strangers, one human. One's Irene, shared the warmth and silence. Had said, humans are dangerous, but she still stayed close. Didn't know yet what would come next. But something had already changed. The wind outside had slowed, but inside the stone cabin, something else was changing. Ravi sat by the fire every day now. He was healing. The deep cuts on his side had closed. His ribs still hurt when he laughed, but he could stand and walk a few steps without falling. Luna still watched him with care. Her silver eyes always noticed what he touched, where he looked, and how he moved. She was not cold. She was cautious. One morning, she gave him a folded cloth and pointed toward the edge of the room. Wash up. You smell like a dead animal. Ravi laughed. Thank you. That's the nicest thing anyone said to me today. Luna didn't smile. But when Ravi walked to the wash area, she let out a small breath, maybe even a little smile, though she quickly hid it later. That day, while sorting through dried plants and scanner parts, Luna turned to him. We need to set rules. Ravi looked up from the seat near the window. All right. What kind of rules? Luna sat on the edge of the table. You don't touch any machines without asking. You don't enter the forest alone. You don't open the signal box. You don't try to contact anyone. He nodded slowly. Fair, she added. You also help with what you can. Carry water. Cut wood. Keep the place clean. Sounds like a proper guest job. You are not a guest, Luna said. You are a human in hiding. Ravi gave a small smile. Then I'll be the cleanest human in hiding. Luna turned away, but her voice was softer when she said, good. They started spending more time in the same room. Luna would sit with her digital logs while Ravi peeled fruit or folded cloth. Some evenings, they sat in silence, listening to the fire. Other nights, they spoke. Luna was full of questions. Why do humans build weapons stronger than storms, too? Feel safe, Ravi replied. Even when they're not in danger, why do they leave their home and travel so far? To look for more. To learn. Or sometimes, just to run from something behind them. Do they always fight each other? Not always. Some fight, some try to stop the fight. Most just try to live. Luna listened carefully. She didn't agree with everything, but she liked hearing his answers. Sometimes, she told him about her world. Her voice changed when she spoke about the rain that smelled sweet in the south, or the blue moons that rose in pairs. She told him about her childhood tree, where she once hid her first tool. Ravi listened closely. He liked her voice when she forgot to be serious. One evening, a strong storm hit the mountains. The wind knocked against the windows. The fire shook. Ravi stood up to block the door with extra wood. Luna came beside him and helped as they worked. Their hands touched. Luna pulled hers away fast. Ravi stepped back and spoke softly. Sorry. I wasn't trying to. I know, she said, cutting him off. They sat down again near the fire. For a long time, neither spoke. Then Luna took her blanket and moved closer. Not beside him, but near enough to feel the heat of his side. I don't like storms, she said quietly. Me neither, Ravi answered, and that night, they fell asleep near each other. The fire burned low, but neither felt cold. Next day was clear. Snow covered the trees outside. The air was sharp but beautiful. Luna stepped outside to gather signal waves from the upper ridge. Ravi followed her halfway. He stood quietly and watched the sky. Your world is quiet. Peaceful. Luna looked at him. Not always. Some years ago, we had problems too. Fights. Over resources. Borders. But we learned. We grew. Ravi sighed. I hope we learned so you might. But many don't believe that. Ravi looked at her. Do you? She didn't answer at first. Then she said, I don't know. I thought. I didn't. But now. I wait and watch. Later that week, while checking the long-range scanner, Luna noticed something strange. A signal blinked 3 times on the edge of her screen. It wasn't a natural storm. It wasn't from her own cabin. She called Ravi to look. He stared at the signal. His face changed. That's not good, he said. That looks like a scout ping. Could be a ship in low orbit, maybe scanning the surface. Human? Luna asked quickly. Ravi shook his head. No, not human design. Too quiet, to spread out. Could be someone else. Could be someone worse. Luna's voice turned cold. Then we must hide you better. Ravi looked at her. You believe me? I trust my own eyes. That signal isn't from this planet. And if someone's looking, they'll find you. I don't want that to happen. That night, they made a new plan. Luna would check her old data logs to see if any safe place still existed. Ravi would help prepare supplies. They packed small bags with food, tools, and maps. Are doing all this to protect me? Ravi asked as they rolled up blankets. Luna didn't look at him when she said, You protected my quiet life. I returned the favor. They sat near the fire again. This time, Luna didn't sit far. She sat right beside him, arms almost touching. Ravi looked at her, not smiling, just thoughtful. You still think humans are dangerous? Luna looked into the fire. Yes, he nodded slowly. All right, but, she added, turning her head slightly toward him. Not always to the people they care about. Outside, snow fell silently. Inside, the fire glowed warmly. Two beings from different worlds sat close, sharing trust built not from words, but from days of small kindnesses and shared danger. And even though she said humans were dangerous, she still stayed beside him. That night, snow covered the ground outside Luna's cabin. The air was cold but still. A thick silence sat over the trees. Inside, the fire burned low as Ravi packed dry food into small cloth bags. Luna stood near the scanner, watching the signal again. Strange ping had returned, faint and slow, but regular. Someone was out there. Someone scanning the surface. Luna pressed a few buttons on her scanner and frowned. The signal is closer today. Ravi walked over and looked at the screen. That's not normal movement. That's a pattern. Whoever it is, they're searching. Section by section. Luna asked, Can they find us here? Ravi shook his head. Not yet. Your cabin shield is small, but strong. Still, if they keep scanning like this, they will find something. Luna closed the scanner and looked at him. Then we don't wait. We find out who they are before they find us. The next morning, they left the cabin early. Ravi wore a thick coat Luna had stitched for him. His legs still hurt, but he could walk fine. Luna carried her scanner, a map, and a small bag with signal tools. They hiked through snow-covered trees, climbing rocks and ducking under frozen branches. The path was quiet except for the crunch of their boots and the wind through the trees. After 2 hours, they reached the top of a high ridge. From there, the view was wide. Wet hills stretched far, and in the sky, a faint glimmer moved slowly there. Ravi pointed. See that flash? Luna focused her scanner and zoomed in. Her face turned serious. That's not a weather satellite. That's a scout drone. Military design. Not Zyrene standard. It's older. Modified by who? Ravi asked Luna. Paused before answering. Rogues, outlaws. Some Zyrene who left the main council years ago. They don't follow peace codes anymore. They take what they want from weak worlds. Ravi's face grew tense. If they find a human survivor here, they'll either capture me or use me. Luna nodded, or worse. They may think you brought value, tech, secrets we need to move then, Ravi said. We can't stay at the cabin. Luna agreed. There's an old research dome to days north. It's abandoned but still has strong shields. We'll go there. It's the only safe place now. The way back to the cabin was slower. Snow had started to fall again. By the time they reached the door, the light was already fat and Ravi helped gather the supplies. He rolled the blankets, tied the tools, and packed their food. Luna prepared her energy core for travel. As she worked, Ravi stepped outside and looked at the sky. He stood still for a willow. Luna came to the door. What are you thinking? Ravi answered. This is a peaceful world. It doesn't deserve to be hurt again. If those rogues find us, they'll bring trouble here. Luna looked at him for a moment. You worry for a world that doesn't even trust your kind. I worry for you, Ravi said softly. Luna looked away, her voice quiet. Then let's not waste time. They left the next morning. The snow was deep, but the sky was clear. They took the hidden path north, away from scanner lines. They spoke little. Saving breath for the climb at night, they camped under a strange glowing tree. The branches gave off soft green light, warming the small space around them. Ravi built a fire while Luna studied her map. You said these rogues used to be Zyrene. Ravi asked while stirring the fire. Why did they break away? Luna sat down beside him. Some wanted power. Others didn't believe in peace. They said weakness invites danger. They believed in control. Sounds familiar, Ravi said. We have people like that till they sat close together. Luna leaned back against a rock. Her eyes didn't leave the fire after a few minutes. She asked, do humans always protect the things they fear? Ravi looked at her. No. But sometimes we protect what we don't understand, or what matters more than fear. Luna didn't reply. But when the fire faded, she quietly spread her blanket beside his. She didn't say a word. Ravi didn't move. The cold night passed in silence, but they slept close. The next day, they continued north. Midway through the forest path, Luna slipped on frozen ground. Her foot twisted, and she fell hard against the ice. She cried out in pain. Ravi rushed over and knelt beside her. Don't move, he said. Checked her foot. It was not broken, but swollen. She winced when he touched it. I can still walk, she said through gritted teeth. No, I'll carry you. Before she could argue, he lifted her gently onto his back. She was light, and he moved carefully through the snow. Luna held onto him, her face close to his neck. You don't have to do this, she said quietly. Yes, I do, he answered. She didn't speak again. Her cheek rested against his shoulder. The warmth between them was real. Even in the frozen forest by sunset, they reached the old research dome. It stood like a broken egg on top of a small hill, half covered in snow. The outer walls were cracked, but the core still worked. Luna activated the shield, and a soft hum filled the air. Inside, it was dry and warm. Ravi set her down gently. She limped to a bench and sat. You didn't have to carry me that far, she said again. I told you. I did. He found a bandage wrap in one of the old storage units and helped her wrap her ankle. She watched him in silence, her eyes unreadably as night fell. They set up a small space near the central heater. Luna leaned back on her blanket and said, you saved me. Twice. You saved me first. Ravi replied, I didn't trust you then, and now? He asked. Luna looked at him. Her voice was quiet, almost a whisper. Now I'm not sure what I feel, but I know this. Your kind may be dangerous, but you are not like the others. Ravi didn't answer. He just nodded and lay beside her. The dome was quiet. Outside, the cold world waited. But inside, two lives had found something rare. Reason to keep going, and though she still believed that humans were dangerous, she chose to stay near him again. The research dome stood quiet under the gray sky. Cold wind moved through the broken trees outside. But inside the dome, the air was warm and still. The old machines buzzed softly, and weak lights flickered on the walls. Ravi sat near the heater, checking the small window for movement. Luna rested on a soft mat behind him, her ankle wrapped tightly. She had not walked much since they arrived. Still, she was alert. Her hands moved quickly over her scanner, searching for updash. Frowned as she read the screen. The scout signals are stronger. To now, not one. They're searching fast. Ravi stood and walked over to her. Do they know about this place? Not yet, Luna answered. The dome has an old shield, but it's weak in some places. If they scan this hill again, they might find us. Ravi took a deep breath. Then we don't wait for them to find us. We plan ahead. Luna looked up. What do you suggest? Ravi walked to the supply box. He opened it and pulled out tools, wires, and metal rods. You said this dome was used by researchers long ago. There must be things we can use to make traps or signals. If they get close, we can delay them. Luna raised her eyebrow. Traps? You sound more like a soldier than a pilot. Ravi smiled. I've learned a few things. You pick up skills when you travel through dangerous places. She nodded. Slowly. All right, but we worked together that day. They moved around the dome carefully. Luna showed Ravi which walls were still strong and which areas were cracked. Ravi placed noise alarms near the weak points. He built small pressure sensors from old parts. If someone stepped too close, A light inside would flash. They also fixed the signal scrambler. Luna connected it to her scanner. Now, if someone scanned the dome, the signal would bounce away in random directions. It would give them more time. They worked side by side for hours. Ravi didn't stop until everything was placed. He didn't say much while working. He stayed focused. Luna watched him, her eyes soft but curious. You care about this more than just survival, she said as she handed him a tool. Ravi paused. I care because I don't want you to get hurt. Luna didn't speak right away. She looked down at her ankle and said, I used to think humans acted only for themselves. Ravi looked at her gently. We do. Sometimes, but not always. That night, they sat near the heater again. The light inside the dome was dim, but enough to see each other's face. Outside, snow fell softly on the roof. Luna leaned back against the wall. Her ankle still hurt, but she didn't complain. She looked at Ravi, who was carefully checking his knife. You said you learned to survive in dangerous places. Was that before or after the war? Ravi glanced at her. Before. I used to fly cargo ships between stations. Some were friendly, some were not. I had to learn how to fix engines, make deals, and sometimes escape trouble. You were always alone. He nodded. Mostly, I had friends, but space is big. People drift apart. Luna watched him in silence. Then she said, You're not alone now. Ravi looked up. His voice was quiet. I know. The next morning, the warning light blinked. Ravi jumped up from his place near the wall. Luna reached for her scanner. The alarm showed movement near the outer ridge. A drone. Small. Fast. It hovered and moved, searching the snow slowly. They're here, Luna whispered. Only one. For now. Ravi didn't waste time. He grabbed a thick coat and went to the storage door. I'll draw it away. If it sees the dome, we're finished. You can't fight it, Luna said quickly. It'll send your location before you even reach it. I won't fight it. I'll confuse it. He pulled out a small metal box from his pack. This is a signal beamer. I can send out a human heat signature. I'll toss it far into the valley. If it follows that, we'll be safe. Luna grabbed his arm. What if it sees you? Then I run. She held his arm a moment longer. Then she let go. Come back. Ravi nodded and stepped out into the snow. The valley was wide and open. The snow was deep. But Ravi moved fast. He crouched behind rocks and trees, watching the drone above. It moved in a slow circle, scanning everything. Reached a high ridge and turned on the signal beamer. It glowed red, then blue. He tossed it far across the valley. The drone paused. Then it moved toward the signal. Ravi stayed low. He waited. When the drone moved far enough, he crawled back toward the trees. But then, a second drone appeared, quiet and fast. It came from the left and saw movement in the snow. Ravi Frazeth drone turned toward him and blinked red. It had seen him. Ran back at the dome. Luna saw the second signal appear on her scanner. Her heart beat faster. No, she whispered. She grabbed her tool bag and limped to the wall. She activated the outside scrambler and sent out false signals. Maybe it would confuse the drone, but her mind was on Ravi's side. Ravi ran down the snowy hill, dodging trees and sliding on ice. The drone followed fast. It shot a small net, but missed. Ravi rolled behind a rock, breathing hard. He pulled out a flare and lit it. Red smoke rose into the air. The drone paused, confused by the heat. In that moment, Ravi jumped and hit it with a metal rod. The drone sparked and crashed into the snow. Who fell beside it, out of breath. His hand was bleeding, but he smiled that night. He returned to the dome with a bruised leg and a cut on his hand. Luna opened the door, eyes wide with relief. She pulled him inside and helped him sit near the heater. You're hurt, she said, cleaning his hand just a little. He answered. The drone won't be coming back. Luna looked at him. You could have died. I told you. I wasn't going to let them find us. She sat down beside him. Close this time. You didn't have to do that. Not for me. Ravi met her eyes. I did. They sat in silence for a long time. Then Luna leaned her head gently on his shoulder. Her voice was soft. Humans are still dangerous. Ravi smiled. I know, but she didn't move away. The wind outside had grown stronger. The snowstorm had passed. But something heavier now moved in the air, something not made of weather or sky. It was tension. It sat between the walls of the old research dome, thick like smoke. Luna stared at the scanner screen. Her fingers tapped the edge of the panel. Ravi stood beside her, wrapping his wounded hand with clean cloth. The drone he destroyed had stopped sending signals. But that silence brought no peace. They will come, Luna said quietly. They will come to find what happened to their drone. Ravi nodded. We knew that already. Now we need to be ready. Luna zoomed in on the signal path. Their ship is large, not a scout vessel. It's a main body ship. Full team, full weapons. How long? Ravi asked. By nightfall, she answered. Maybe sooner. Ravi turned to the small pile of tools and wires they had collected. His mind started working quickly. Then we make one last plan. They moved through the dome one final time. Ravi checked every pressure alarm. Luna rewired the power grid to boost the dome's shield for at least a few minutes longer. If the enemies tried to break through, the delay would help at the back of the dome. There was an old tunnel once used for emergency exits. It was half blocked by fallen rock, but still passable. Ravi cleared a path with a small shovel. If things go wrong, we use this, he said. We run. Luna looked at the dark tunnel. And if they block the exit, then we fight. Luna paused. We're two against many. I've seen worse odds, Ravi replied with a small smile. By afternoon, the scanner blinked 3 times. A new signal entered the edge of the forest, then another, and another. They've sent a ground team, Luna said. At least 6 scouts. They're trying not to damage the dome, Ravi said. That means they want something from us. Or from you. Luna deliberately placed a small metal disc on the main door. Then we show them we're not easy prey. The sun dropped lower behind the hills. Orange light covered the snow. Then shadows took over. Inside the dome, lights were dim. Everything was ready. Ravi stood near the front wall, holding a metal rod and one of Luna's pulse tools. Luna stayed near the center panel, watching the scanner. Then came the sound. Footsteps in snow. Slow. Careful. Then metal tapping on stone. They're here, Luna whispered. Ravi moved toward the door. He crouched low, ready to throw the pulse. Flash. A sharp knocking came within. A voice, cold and smooth. We know you're in there. This is not a rescue. We are not here to harm you if you cooperate. Ravi didn't speak. The voice continued. You carry something we want. Human survivor. Come out peacefully and we won't destroy the place. Resist and we take everything. Luna whispered. They want you. Ravi whispered back. They want control. Then the signal light blinked. The enemy started scanning again. Hold, Luna said. The shield's still active. They're confused. But they'll break it soon. Outside, footsteps moved again. Then came a sudden bang. A strong blast shook the dome walls. The shield flared. Lights flickered. They're testing us, Ravi said. Next one will be stronger. He ran to the side wall and opened the panel. He activated the noise trap. A high sound rang through the trees outside. Birds flew. Animals scattered. The enemy froze for a moment. Then the second blast came. Louder. Stronger. The shield broke with a crackling noise. A hole opened in the wall there. Luna said. Ravi ran to her side and pulled her behind the supply shelves. The first enemy entered. Tall, dark suit, long weapon. He scanned the room. Ravi threw the pulse flash. A bright light burst. The enemy fell. Stunned until more entered. Luna hit the wall control, activating the backup light grid. Bright beams lit the room, confusing the enemies. Ravi ran forward and hit one with the rod. It sparked and fell third. Enemy aimed at Luna. She grabbed the pulse tool and fired. The blast hit the suit and knocked the attacker into the wall. More footsteps came. They're not stopping, Ravi said. Breathing hard. They won't, Luna replied. They ran to the side hall. A loud alarm screamed as another part of the wall exploded. Ravi helped Luna down the tunnel. She limped fast, pain on her face. But she didn't stop. Behind them, shouts and gunfire echoed as they reached the end of the tunnel. Ravi looked out through a small crack. Snow fell. Trees stood quiet. This way, he said, pulling Luna up. They moved down the slope, through the trees, as fast as they could. Behind them, smoke rose from the dome. They'll track us, Luna said. We'll keep moving. We'll find the next safe point, Ravi said. Hours passed. They found a small cave and rested inside. Luna sat down, her legs shaking. Ravi lit a small fire and wrapped her in a thick blanket. You saved me again. Luna whispered. Ravi sat beside her. You saved me first. This was only fair. Luna looked at the fire. I used to believe all humans brought war. I used to believe they only caused damage. Ravi looked at her. And now, she looked into his eyes. Now I believe some can protect more than they destroy. Ravi didn't speak. He gently placed his hand over hers. She didn't pull away. Fire warmed the cave. Snow fell outside. Danger was still near. But for a moment, they had peace. Seen even though the world was no longer safe, she still stayed beside him. Snow kept falling outside the cave. Cold wind blew through the trees. But inside, the fire was still burning. Ravi checked the small device Luna had left near the cave wall. It showed no signal from the enemies. At least for now. Luna sat quietly, with her back against the stone. Her leg was still hurting, but her eyes were focused. She held a small square device in her hand. It was flat and silver, with a single glowing line in the center. What's that? Ravi asked. My contact beacon. Luna replied. It calls my people. High security line. Only used in extreme moments. Ravi looked at it for a long time. You're thinking about using it? I have to, she said. We can't keep running forever. If I call them, they can send a ship. Maybe take us off this planet. Ravi nodded slowly. And what will they do when they see me with you? Luna looked away. I don't know. The fire cracked. For a while, they didn't speak. Outside, a branch fell under the weight of snow. Far off, a night bird called once and then went silent. They will think I've gone against my mission, Luna finally said. They sent me to study this world, to report human activity. I wasn't supposed to make contact. Not like this. Ravi gave a small smile. You didn't plan to get stuck with a stubborn human in a frozen wasteland. Luna shook her head slowly. No, I didn't plan any of this. Ravi reached into his jacket and pulled out a small folded piece of cloth. It was a patch with an old Earth emblem, the mark of the last science crew who came to this planet. He handed it to Luna. My team didn't survive, he said. I thought I'd never speak to anyone again. Until you showed up. Luna held the patch gently. You were alone for so long. And yet you didn't give up. I didn't have a choice, Ravi said. Now maybe you don't either. The next morning, Luna sat outside the cave with the beacon in her hands. Her fingers hovered above the activation line. Her mind was full of questions. If she called her people, would they help Ravi? Would they see him as a threat? Would they trust her again? She looked back at the cave where Ravi was packing supplies. He had not asked her to stay. He had not asked her to choose him. But his silence said more than words. She took a deep breath and activated the Bacanthe device. Lit up. A thin beam of light shot into the sky. It would be seen only by her people, hidden in normal sensors, but bright in her people's tracking system. It's done, she said when Ravi stepped out. Looked at the sky. How long? Maybe hours, Luna said. They're always nearby. They moved from the cave after that. It was no longer safe to stay in one place. They crossed a frozen stream, climbed a low ridge, and found a small shelter under rock layers. From there, they could see the sky more clearly. Be afternoon. A faint shape appeared high in the sky. It moved like a shadow, quiet and silver. That's them, Luna said. Scout ship. They'll land soon. Ravi stood still. You trust them? I used to, she said. Now I don't know what I believe. When the ship landed, it didn't make a sound. The snow around it didn't even move. It had perfect landing tech. A soft light opened beneath the ship and 3 figures stepped out. Tall, clean armor, helmets glowing with soft blue rings. Some of them stepped forward and spoke. In Luna's language. Luna answered calmly. She pointed at Ravi, then showed them her data tablet. The others looked at Ravi without speaking. He didn't move. He kept his hands low and showed no sign of fear. And they said something else. Their tone was more serious now. Luna's face changed. She said something back, louder. They want to take me, she told Ravi, alone. They said you must stay. I thought they would. Ravi said they believe humans are still dangerous. They think I've been influenced. They want to test me before they decide what to do with you, and if you say no, Ravi asked. They might leave both of us here. Or worse, the silence between them felt heavy. Then Luna stepped forward and faced the officer. Spoke in a firm voice. I chose to stay with him. I am not under control. I am thinking clearly. He protected me when your systems failed. He fought against your own drone when it attacked without reason. The lead officer said something cold. Luna shook her head. If you won't help both of us, then I don't go with you. The other two looked at each other. A long moment passed. Then the lead officer touched his helmet. A signal was sent. The ship lights blinked. They're sending the message back to command. Luna said softly, what will the command say? Ravi asked. I don't know, she replied. But I won't leave you here. Not after everything they waited near. The ship, snow fell again. The wind picked up, but no one moved. Finally, the officer stepped forward and gave a short nod. Luna's eyes widened slightly. They agreed. She said, we can both come. But under watch. Ravi looked at her. Is that good or bad? It's a start, she said. At least we're not alone now. Ravi walked up the ramp with her. The ship's door closed behind them. Inside, it was warm and quiet. Clean air, soft lights. The first real comfort in weeks. Luna sat beside him. The ship began to rise. You're not scared? Ravi asked. I'm still scared, she said. But not of you. The ship flew higher. The snowy world below grew smaller. The stars above grew brighter. For now, they were together, and that was enough. The ship moved smoothly through the dark sky. Inside, the air was warm and quiet. Ravi looked out the window, watching the stars. The planet below was small now, covered in clouds and snow. Luna sat beside him, her hands folded on her lap. Her eyes were tired but calm. The officers who came with them watched silently from the other side of the room. After hours, the ship landed on a large station. It was bright and busy, full of people from many worlds. Luna and Ravi walked slowly through the halls. Guarded but not hurt. The lead officer took Luna to a large room. The walls had screens showing data and images of planets, ships, and people. A tall figure waited there, a woman with sharp eyes and calm voice. You brought the human, the woman said without greeting. Luna nodded. He is not a threat. The woman looked at Ravi. Why should we trust you? Ravi stepped forward. I survived because I learned to protect myself and others. I did not want war. I only wanted to live. The woman studied him. You are different from what we expected, Luna added. He saved me. He helped protect the research dome from rogues. He showed care when no one else would. The woman smiled slightly. Maybe your kind is not all danger, but trust is earned, not given. Over the next days, Ravi was tested. He answered questions about Earth, about human history, about why humans sometimes fight and sometimes help each other. Luna stood by him through all of it. She told stories of her own people's struggles, how peace was hard and took Timmy-own evening. Ravi and Luna sat on a quiet balcony overlooking the stars. The city lights below flickered like fireflies. Do you believe humans can change? Luna asked. Ravi thought carefully. I think we already do. Every day. Not all, but some. I believe that people who choose kindness are the real power. Luna smiled. You sound like you want to teach me. I want to learn from you too. Ravi said softly. The woman who led the station came to see them again. We have made a decision. She said, Ravi, you will stay here to help with our research on human worlds. Luna, you will continue your mission, but with more freedom. Ravi nodded. I will do my best. Luna looked at him. We will still be together. The woman hesitated, then said, yes, for now. They both smiled, feeling hope. Before long, Ravi was working in a large lab. He helped analyze data and told stories of Earth. People listened with interest. Sometimes surprised, Luna continued to fly her missions, but often returned to the station. She and Ravi shared meals and quiet moments. They spoke of peace, of trust, of the future. One day, Luna said, humans are still dangerous, but I no longer fear them. Ravi laughed softly. Good, because I am still dangerous too. She reached for his hand and squeezed it. Minutes passed. The station became a bridge between worlds. Humans, Zyrene, and many others began to work together more. Luna and Ravi showed that trust could cross stars and species. Their story became a symbol of proof that Even when the world said humans were dangerous, they could still be friends, and though she said humans were dangerous, she chose to stand beside him not because fear disappeared, but because hope was stronger.